So this is the big chimney tower, and I believe all that remains of the abandoned town of Bellefonte. The abandoned town of Bellefonte, I believe Dozer said was fully abandoned, like completely abandoned by 1920. We thought we'd come here and we'd see essentially like a city that was untouched by like people for a long time, but heavily overgrown, with plants, and just like a place that we could explore that had a bunch of old mystery to it. But it seems like all that there's really here to find, at least as of 2018, is just this chimney tower, and I believe there's a plaque up the road that talks about Bellefonte Cemetery. So we're going to go up and we're going to check out the Bellefonte Cemetery plaque. But I just wanted to get a quick, full 360 view of the chimney tower. Bellefonte Cemetery. Before the courthouse was completed, the community selected a location for a cemetery. The highest elevation in Bellefonte's corporate limits was chosen as the town's burial place. The earliest inscribed marker in Bellefonte Cemetery bears the date 1826. The Civil War exacted a heavy toll on Bellefonte. The Federal Army burned the courthouse and the town never recovered. The town square was sold at public auction in 1878. Only the Bellefonte Cemetery remains of the bustling Riverport town, which was Jackson County's seat of justice from 1828 until November 1868. A 1936 TVA survey identified 229 grave plots and 57 inscribed markers in the cemetery. Recent surveys of the cemetery show many graves with plain limestone rocks and numerous unmarked graves. The Jackson County Historical Association began efforts to preserve the Bellefonte Cemetery in 2005. They placed the marker here to honor those individuals who established the 19th century town of Bellefonte, Alabama. The Alabama Historical Commission listed the Bellefonte Cemetery in the Alabama Historic Cemetery Register in 2006. So we know at the very least that chimney tower still exists. Because, we just saw it. So now we're going to travel into supposedly what is left of Bellefonte. It's not a good occasion for white shoes.
So they tried to preserve it, freaking lying.
It's pretty much just a forest.
There's some.
The gravestones.
Those are standing pretty well.
This is definitely significantly more somber. We were expecting an empty town.
There's shit written on this, but it's hard to read. Something.
Don't just stand on it.
Well, it's already been toppled over. Henry Davis. 1857 was his death date. I can't read the rest of it.
Died in Birmingham. No, that doesn't say Birmingham. Died in Bellefonte, which makes sense. Yeah,
it looks like he was born in North Carolina in the 1700s, but I can't tell what year that is.
17
something
87, 67.
He was pretty old for that time.
Yeah.
60s or 70s, depending on what that year is that he was born. Why does that one look brand freaking new?
It does. Died in 1903.
Civil War. Private Thomas Smith Moore. That one looks like it was just put in the ground. There's no way that's over 100 years old.
Confederate Army Civil War.
They must have remade one.
Maybe they're doing that for all of them. If that is the case.
Yeah, because that one's pretty new. There's no way that's over 100 years old. What the hell is that?
A very tiny gravestone.
This one might be readable, kinda. I see Sagred. Sagard? Yeah, I can't really. I just see Sagard. Maybe that was their last name.
Yeah, it doesn't seem like the preservation process is as...
Except for that one grave that they look like they just remade.
Yeah, it doesn't seem like they've really done too much to preserve.
I know, like cut some of these freaking plants so you could actually see the graves that are left.
Yeah, like even if they kept a lot of the overgrowth, at least don't leave it on the gravestones.
I wonder why they chose to just remake that one.
Maybe they didn't.
Maybe somebody knows that person like personally, like a family member or something was like, I knew them.
Maybe someone comes back regularly for that one.
My grandma knew them or something. There's a few over there that are pretty deep in there, but they look like they're like consumed by plants.
Yeah, and it looks like there's still more this way.
Oh, them. It's weird because there's not a lot in between.
Yeah. That one's broken.
Yeah, that one's broken.
Yeah.
Got a big chip off of it. This one said died 1840, I believe. That's all I can really make out.
Dozer has his hood on, by the way, because there are a lot of gnats here.
Why are there so many freaking tiny graves? Are those for younger people?
I don't know. Maybe it was harder to find full gravestones. Someone probably had to like carve these. Maybe less expensive. A lot of people die in war. And from what we can tell, a lot of them are Civil War graves.
Is the writing on that side? I can't see any writing.
I don't see any writing.
Yeah,
Could be unmarked.
on either side, I can't see them. Kind of a waste of stone, really.
It shows you that someone's buried there.
In the area.
Right. And there's no more trail. But there are more stones. There's just not like a path anymore. See?
I see one. Yeah, I can see the area that was the graveyard because there's thicker amounts of trees, like in the edge over here. Probably would have been facing this way. Appears unmarked.
And there's another one on that. There's fence over there.
Yep. Probably the edge of the graveyard. You want to make your way through this stuff over there?
It does get pretty thick.
You can do it.
Okay.
I should have brought better shoes for this, but I didn't know we were like heading over here.
I shouldn't have brought clean shoes to this. I thought there'd be overgrowth, but I thought there'd be overgrowth and buildings.
There probably is. You saw one. And there's got to be at least another one because I'm pretty sure I saw a picture of a different one.
Oh, there's another gravestone in that fenced off part.
Why'd they get special treatment? Something that way. There's like a path.
There is a path. The flies are...
If any of this is poison ivy, I'm just fucked.
True, you've been touching a lot of it. Be careful. Good way to get tetanus. Oh, he's just leaning on it to read. I thought you were going to climb over.
Annie Scruggs? And there's somebody else listed on there.
Oh.
J.H. and Mary J. Jones.
Do you think it's a shared grave?
Maybe. There's two different names on there. Or maybe it's listing their parents.
Maybe. That one seems somewhat hard to read. Maybe you're closer.
I can only make out the word born and died.
Be careful. Maneuvering. And if it is poison ivy, there's a Walmart nearby.
We can go die there.
Just seems like open forest. There's something over there.
If we were doing this at night, we'd be fucked.
This just wouldn't work.
Wouldn't see shit.
We came literally yesterday at night. Didn't see anything.
Luckily, there was nothing for us to see where we were. Yeah, there's something over there. What the hell is that?
I don't know.
Is that a water pump? Kind of looks like one. Without the handle?
Possibly. I'm mainly swatting away spider webs at the moment. I see what you mean.
Yeah, I think that's a water pump and it's missing the handle. That's what it looks like. The handle is like right here. And fucking... That's what you do. That's all that's over here.
There have been many years. I mean, we were looking for
remnants of a fence. Not much else here unless we wanted to like go through all this shit, but I'm not willing for that.
I don't think there was anything there, as far as I'm aware.
What was this area?
Ugh.
You think there was like a building for the cemetery over here?
A place where you like actually go. I don't know.
Maybe the person at the cemetery like works in the building.
Maybe. I don't see any more graves. Yeah. Just looking around. I think that's just a rock. But for a moment I thought this was a gravestone. But it's just a rock, I think. But yeah. This might be all there really is left to Bellefonte. Oop, if we see anything else, we'll definitely make sure to film it. Remember when we were here? There are more beyond going in the opposite direction. We got distracted by that trail. Here's a gravestone here.
Can't really read it. September 13th is the only thing I can read in there. Doesn't mean anything. What was that?
What was what? Oh.
Is that like a statue of a tree? Yeah. Crawford. No, Crawford. This one's almost readable. Memory of
Woodman of the World.
Memory of P.C. Crawford, October 4th, 1884 to October 20th, 1918. So he died around the time this town was pretty much gone, because it became completely abandoned in the early 1920s.
So this is a
he
late
was
edition.
died, and the town died with him.
Mm.
An interesting grave he got.
Agreed.
That one's pretty much readable, so that's a good one. There's a huge freaking spider on that. I think that's a granddaddy longleg, so.
Oh, on that grave?
Mary J. Crawford? Crawford. But it's not spelled the same.
It has a symbol thing that looks like it's faded at the top. I was wondering if it was a similar symbol to what we saw on the other one.
The last name's not spelled the same. It looks like it's Crawford or Crawford, but it's not spelled the same.
Mm.
Died 1904. Born 1832. January 4th, I think. And I think they died February something 1904.
Mm.
Mary J. Crawford or Crawford, but not related to him for some reason.
More that way. We see another fence. And then maybe some fallen structure thing? I can't tell. There's a lot of overgrowth around where this one's at, but there's a stone at the other side of the fence.
There's a really thick one.
Yeah.
They didn't want their stone broken.
Yeah, are you getting bit?
It'll be readable. What?
Are you getting bit?
I'm getting hot.
Oh, you're getting hot?
Ever since I put the hood on, I haven't felt any bugs getting in.
Ah, I'm getting bit. Your boy Dozer brought the long sleeve. He had the true supplies. I just got stuck by this little plant. Right in my belly.
What kind of idiot put this stone here? It's facing that way. I can see stuff on it, but it's this way.
Oh,
Why'd
like
they put it
inside of the
backwards?
gate?
Yeah, they put it backwards.
Yeah.
So is he buried like this way? And there's something there that seems readable, but I can't really see through the...
It does seem odd to put a fence there. Do you happen to know what this one says?
No, I can see like a bunch of letters, but none of them come together.
Mm.
It looks like he died sometime in February. That's all I can see.
Understandable.
It's hard to read.
And then back here. Looks like maybe a fallen structure. Spiderweb.
Shrooms. Those are like the shit that gets you high.
I don't think so.
The white shits that don't look normal. There is a fallen structure. Get in there.
Do you think it would have held up this well if it was from the 1800s?
I wouldn't. It might have been made like early 1900s, but it looks about right. Shit's rotted. Looks like it's been at least decades. I don't really know how to date stuff, but it looks old as shit.
This is more of what I expected to find.
Yeah, this shit all looks rotted, and the roof probably was silver when they first put it there, and it's brown now, rusted. Yeah, this looks old enough to have been here when the town was still around.
But yeah, I don't see anything else like that nearby. Like any more obvious structures.
I know, it's weird. Like, did they clean up some of the stuff, but not all of it?
This doesn't seem right. There's a little green pail in here that's broken, but looks like it's made out of plastic.
Yeah, I know. Somebody just must have littered like all the other garbage.
I don't know. I'm a little skeptical of this one. How would they have made a metal roof like this back then? I guess they did have stuff like that.
They had metalworking.
Yeah, by then.
For hundreds of years.
I wouldn't touch it. A good way to get tetanus.
That feels like a really thin, weak metal. Not just because it's old, but because it feels thin.
I don't see anything else to grab our attention, and that would be heading closer to the main road.
Walk a little bit further down the road to see if there's anything.
Okay. Stay tuned. If we see anything interesting, we'll make sure to film it.
I'm not counting the one that looks pretty new. Out of all the ones here, that one looks the most like kept together. That one's very readable. You can read pretty much everything on it. But it looks also like probably one of the more expensive ones.
Be careful. There are little broken logs here, so it's not hard to imagine someone tripping.
Is it on that side? Do you see anything on that side?
I don't see anything on that side.
I just see the word Martin. It's the only thing that's legible. I don't see any other words on there. So it just says Martin, like pretty etched in there. That's about it. If there's anything over here, that shit's fucked.
It's pretty overgrown.
Yeah, there's no way you can see. There's a grave right there. There's one right there. They're lost.
Buried.
Won't ever be seen again.
If we see anything else interesting, we'll make sure to film it. So back at this grave that was really well kept, someone's
There's like
actually...
red, white, and blue flowers left for it. They feel fake. They probably are, so they won't be like dead. Yeah, those are fake flowers. I don't know how long ago they were put here.
Maybe this is more new than we think.
Pretty solid. Yeah, that shit looks brand new. Looks like it was created within the last year. Maybe last 5 years. It's got a little bit of stainage on it.
But if the last 5 years, then those flowers are doing pretty good. You think
Those-
they get
those are
bleached because they're fake? Well, the bleached ones, I mean not the bleached ones, the fake one, the coloration through like exposure to sunlight should fade really fast.
The white definitely did. It's starting to look yellow.
I feel like it's yellow and it's starting to look white. It's the other way around.
It's red, white, and blue flowers. You get it? Why would it be red, white, and yellow?
Because it may just be yellow flowers.
But they're all fake, so they
I
can
know.
have whatever color they wanted.
Understood. It still looks more like fading and like the yellow was the intentional color.
That wouldn't make any sense.
Just to look nice. It may not be like symbolic. Or it could be like flower symbolism. Because flowers have different colors that like go with different meanings.
Moldy.
Probably need to wash your entire body. If we see anything else interesting, we'll definitely make sure to film it. Your friend, your boy here with Nose. And today we're going to talk about our time in Bellefonte, the abandoned town in Alabama, not too far away from Scottsboro. So we're going to talk about like what we found, would we recommend other people go, why or why not. So Dozer, would you like to cover like what we found, and also whether or not other people should go, and also why or why not?
That's a lot. We should do it together.
We should do it together. Are there any specific parts that you would want to hit up?
I'll just mention like the basic stuff that we've seen since we got there.
Okay, hit them up.
I could mention last night we went there. We didn't really see any of the town. We just kind of walked down this long path that led to basically nothing. There's nothing there, but today we parked like right across the street from a bell tower that was, I'm guessing, was supposed to be like around the center of the town.
I thought it was the chimney tower.
Bell tower, chimney tower. What's a chimney tower?
I think it was just like a big chimney.
Well, it was supposed to be around the center of the town anyway. And then we went to the cemetery that's just down the road. We walked to it. It's really in bad shape. A lot of the graves are messed up, and there's there's just like super tall grass and crap everywhere. A lot of people wouldn't want to go to it because it's very messy, and you definitely want to wear like closed-toed shoes and long
sleeve
pants.
shirts and stuff. Yeah, a hoodie.
Yeah, there's lots of bugs, and only like 3 of the graves are
Very legible.
Yeah, you can only read like clearly what's on 3 of the graves. The rest of them are either you can pick out a few words or you can't read anything at all. And then a little bit past the graveyard, there's like another open area, which there might have been a building there at some point, not sure, but there's like a broken water pump there without the actual handle part.
Yeah.
You can say whatever else you want.
We found that like dilapidated building or whatever, where you can only see like the roof really of a building.
Didn't look like it was any sort of house or anything. Maybe like a tool shed or something.
It was nearby the cemetery.
Yeah.
It might have been related.
They might have stored some like unused gravestones there or something.
Maybe.
Or like tools for like digging the holes, shovels and stuff.
Or like maybe if they built caskets or something like that. Did they even do that back then, or did they just bury people?
Definitely had caskets.
Okay, so it might have been like a place where they like built the caskets or something like that.
Very small building.
Yeah. And the chimney tower is now where like they place like big wood logs and stuff like that. Like you're not gonna like find like a town. The chimney tower and that little dilapidated building nearby the cemetery are really what's left of like the town setup and that little water pump.
Yeah, it seems like since we've been there, because I looked up a few videos of people going there, and they're all a few years old. Since last people that have been there and like reported stuff, a lot of stuff's changed. Like where the chimney/bell tower, whatever it really is, where that is, there's now like a lumber mill business there.
Right.
That's popped up within the last 2 years.
3 years. It was since 2015.
Yeah, but within the last few years, it's popped up. And then there's also a house that we didn't stop and look at because Nick, for some reason, said no. But there's one of the houses that looks like it was from what's the town's name?
Bellefonte.
There's one of the Bellefonte houses from one of the towns still around. Looks really old, rotted wood.
Tree looks like it fell on it or whatever.
That's what's changed since the last picture I've seen of it. Because on Google Images, you can see a picture of that house. There's no tree collapsed on it, but when we went there, there's a tree that's collapsed like half of the roof of the house. So that building looks pretty bad shape.
I didn't want to walk to it. And I also didn't want to park. There was a mailbox. It made it seem weird. I don't know. I doubt anyone was living.
It'd be a really weird place to live. There was kind of like a trailer behind it, but it was a really crappy trailer that it looked like maybe no one lives there, but who knows?
True. In Bellefonte, anything's possible. But when it comes to the trip, I would say what we really enjoyed was when we hung out yesterday. We went really late at night, and we went down this road that's next to where the nuclear reactor area was at. That was really cool. Kind of had like a weird, mysterious, creepy vibe, and we told stories and stuff like that. And today's trip was really cool because it was a way for us to like figure out the mystery behind Bellefonte, because we really didn't see anything on that road. But I feel like if you just want to go somewhere for a night, tell like some creepy stories in like the middle of nowhere, going to Bellefonte, Alabama doesn't seem like too bad of a destination. But if you want to like walk around like an old dilapidated town and actually see like fallen buildings and walk through the streets where people once were, it's not that kind of trip. That's not what you should expect.
Yeah, you're gonna see like 1 or 2 old buildings that are almost like look on the verge of collapsing. You might see one completely collapsed building, and you'll see the cemetery. That's the only thing that you can really tell what it is.
Exactly. So there's not enough of Bellefonte left for it to be a solid abandoned town trip.
But I think it's a really cool place to like, if you wanted to do something kind of creepy, it's really cool. Like maybe on like Halloween night or something, you go down to Bellefonte when it's dark outside, and they've got a couple of really long paths that lead to pretty much nothing. The path we walked down has got to be like around 2.5 miles long, and And by the end of the path, there's like a gravel
gates,
company,
yeah, gravel
and
company.
then on the other side, there's a little path that leads just to another gate that you wouldn't want to pass any further because it's near the nuclear reactor, so you wouldn't want to get too close to that because that's actually where you'd start getting into trouble.
Right.
But
Probably
yeah,
trespassing.
it's a really long walk. But at night, if it's only you and a friend or you and a couple friends, it's kind of creepy. It'd be good to do.
And you were talking about the possibility of like making a little like horror short or something.
It's a very like there's like a neighborhood on one side of this area, but on the other side there's like nothing. There's like the lumber mill, and then if you walk down the 2.5 mile path, there's the gravel company. But 2 times we've been there, we've never seen anyone like doing any work there. So it seems like when you go to this place, there's not really anyone there. It's just like a huge like few mile radius area where there just isn't anything.
We just passed by a place that looked like it had like weird overgrowth on the building. But this area that we're in doesn't seem like it would have something like that. I don't know. Some places just have neglected buildings. But yeah, if you had to give it like a rating out of 10, I'm not even sure if it's fair to give it that kind of rating. It seems like it's good for one thing, but not good for another.
For like a tourist spot to see like an abandoned town, it's like a 3 out of 10. It's like you can tell there is some stuff that's been abandoned, but most of it's gone.
Right. I'd probably give it an even lower score than that. There's not enough reason to travel all the way down to just see the cemetery
Where we live
and the tower.
From
where it was only like an hour.
Yeah,
it's a nice trip.
Not even an hour.
Yeah. I mean, I guess it depends on how far out you're going. I wouldn't go for that. It's more for like the creepy nighttime walk. If you like taking night walks and you like having like a weird creepy setup, I like that there are swamps around the path and stuff like that. I think that added to like the atmosphere.
And we noticed it's summertime, so there's a lot of bugs out, especially at night. But we went at night, and if you're on that path, you don't really get bombarded by a lot of bugs.
If you go in that cemetery,
the cemetery.
Yeah,
the cemetery will fuck you up.
Yeah, but that path was fine. Yeah, I don't remember getting bit by anything. We saw a frog. That was the only real animal interaction we had. And I think some flies, but that was like not a big problem. It wasn't like an annoying thing to have all the flies. But yeah, I'd say overall we enjoyed it, but it wasn't necessarily what we were expecting.
I think for like a place to like do something that you might think might be a little creepy, it's like a 7 out of 10 because it is pretty creepy. But I think it doesn't get like full points or an 8 or a 9 because there's no real payoff because you don't really come to anything. Like there's nothing at the end of it. You might be expecting to find something that looks creepy at the end of it. There isn't. There's nothing there. It's just more road, and then you have to turn back.
Yeah. So yeah, I would say definitely a good spot for the creepy stuff, telling stories. Not a good spot if you want to see like abandoned town. Do you have any additional like comments or stuff? Okay. Well, I'd like to thank you all for watching. If you like this video, make sure to smash that like button. Favorite, comment, subscribe, and ding ding ding, ring that notification bell so you notify whenever we do these live streams. Well, this one wasn't live. This is your host, your friend, your boy, Jet Black, the one and only here with
Dozer.
Logging out. Peace.